Here, I'm gonna be here now. Yeah.
All right, we're live, buddy. Hey there, everybody. We're live on the chat screen. We got me and my brother Ben here.
That's
Ben,
right. Good
all right.
day, everyone.
It's been a while since we've talked. How's things in LA? I'm just
Mm, things are pretty cool, I guess. There's a lot of beautiful weather. There's a lot of
it looks
people.
very neon. Like it looks like you're having maybe alien visit problems. A lot of blue and
Mm,
pink light
yeah.
in the area.
Well, um, I'm in a seedy underground
Oh, it's your bunker.
bunker. The stuff on the surface has been whatever, so
Yeah,
it's time
I
to be
got
in the
it.
bunker,
I got it.
But you
Yeah.
don't want to mess around with your lighting game. You want your
I
lighting game to be.
no,
We
yeah.
were talking about lighting, and I was like, after the last live stream last week, I got to go out and get my lighting stuff together because I just don't feel right telling people about how lighting matters. And then,
I'm with you.
so my neon glow. I did a little bit of cloud work on the ceiling of myself. I learned a few things from your old Joe's.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
Yeah. All right. I'm with you on the lighting. And I went underwater. So,
You went underwater. That's important.
Yeah.
It's important to get underwater from time to time and,
Yeah.
just stretch,
Totally.
move, get your circulation together.
Yeah. So this is my
What's
studio.
up, guys? I see Raymond and Felicia and DVK2 and Mavis.
Hey, all right.
Chat.
Hey there, familiar names. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I threw together some quick sketches on the whiteboard. I thought this would be a good whiteboard opportunity, but I won't hog up the time with all that. Keep the suggestions coming. I really liked that last week. These suggestions came up. What about Mavis? You had a real good comment on just the tools you need to actually form a face painting. It's a real good topic. So I want to dig into that. Jacob brought up the subject of blending acrylics. So I thought let's merge these. So I've got the whiteboard to start, but we'll pull out the paints and do some things after that.
Yeah, we see you, Leanne, and Tease Art. Tease Art on this. I think Tease Art should be one word. Tease Art.
Just make it one word.
TEEZART. Tease Art.
I like that. Well, here's
so if you want to chat with Joe, just throw some stuff in the chat. We'll keep an eye on it, and you can do that. And then if you want to share anything with us, there's a link in the description of this video.
We got it. Yeah, I'd love to see your work.
Put your visuals in there.
Yeah, Ben always has some real good insight to offer too. You're like the expert dealing with video, photography, video, that kind of stuff. So it's always fun to cross. What do you call it? When you bring two worlds together.
Cross-examine. Cross-reference.
That cross-examine is intimidating. That's like
okay.
Check it.
Let's cross-reference. Let's cross-reference. Yeah. Let's cross-interrogate, Joe. Let's cross-interrogate.
Yeah. Kind of has the wrong vibe. All right. So we're talking about faces. This is a good place to start. I'm gonna show you something about my face and Ben's face, because on the whiteboard I've got these really basic patterns I used. And I love question-based research. I don't know if there's another kind of research other than question-based, but I just feel like asking key questions is at the heart of what I love doing. Okay, so we look at this, we see a masculine face. We look at this. I mean, you can disagree, but why does this one look younger and feminine? Why does this one look Asian? To some degree. It's all just to some degree. And this one looks very masculine. So there's reasons for that. They're real specific patterns. I used a pattern of really basic shapes. I just used my finger and erased shapes to get the essence of a face here with the highlights. And then I went down here and did the reverse, getting the essence of a face with the shadows. So I want to talk about both things, how we can focus on the shapes of shadows, or we can focus on the shapes of lights, highlights, lit areas. And they come together like a puzzle. You know, in here we would see this triangle. If we came down here and we just kind of did a little highlight around this cheek like this, and we just kind of refined this shape above the lip, kind of angled it out. You see how it makes that triangle in there? So they come together like puzzle pieces. And, you know, you memorize one set, you've memorized the other, you get real familiar with them. And they're not, you know, we're not talking about an exact set of shapes. It's just something helpful for retaining. You know, you can even make your own system. I'm just here to share mine. All right.
Okay.
So,
well, you were going to talk about our faces. What?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. And then I got distracted by the whiteboard. Yeah. So check this out. Look, see on Ben's face, we can see that highlight right there. I've got the mouse floating around on your cheek, brother. So right on the cheek, you know, an important concept in painting, drawing, is that even the most soft, blurry shapes have a shape. You can see that the lighting in the room where I am makes it more distinct. Ben has soft lighting, meaning light coming from a larger area.
Yeah, let's fix that.
Oh, okay. Change the lighting. Oh, okay. Well, here's another thing is, yeah, that's good. That's good. See, I'm sitting in front of this real big, you know, this is a good point to bring up. Because you're choosing your lighting when you do a picture, so it can cause confusion. Like, wait, I don't see those shapes. Well, here's something that changes how big and how blurry those shapes are. See, that's the light that's on my face. You can see when I'm over here, it's really big. You know, it's big in comparison to it's shining on the whole thing, and so that has a really different look than if we shrink down a tiny light like on a phone coming from a point. It just changes how sharp the edges of the shadows are. But I digress. I want to get into identifying these shapes, because this is where the magic happens, is when you can quickly identify, so that you're building up your own memory bank. So here on Ben's face, you know, my face is skinnier. It's a little bonier than Ben's. It's just bonier. Okay, so we see a triangle here under my cheek. See that triangle? Now it's sorry, we got that. Let's move over so I'm not making that icon appear. Gosh, that's annoying. Okay. So if I get here, you can see a little triangle on my cheek, the shadow right there. And then on Ben, it's real soft, but we can see that highlight that's like a curve on the bottom, more level across where the eye socket is. So that's an important shape. I use it all the time. Then we can see the shadow under Ben's bottom lip. The same thing on mine, very similar right here. Boy, we got the same kind of whiskers, brother. I'm just saying, they're the same.
We must have came from the same place right about the same time.
2 peas in a pod right here. Okay.
Bean number 1. A year and a half later, bean number 2.
Yeah. I got a solid vein down the middle of my forehead. I'm seeing that. You know,
I got a good one cooking up right here.
After a hard day and I'm feeling really old, I'll look at this vein right here.
A circle light on the forehead. You know, you can just make a circle to start that out. So you can think of this as sculpting with light and shadow. When you're putting something together, the light spots bring it out of the object. The dark shadows push it into the object. And so I'm using basic patterns to do that. So what we'll do is have some fun painting. And
let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun. This is where we ended last week. We have this character. So we'll just talk about some patterns that are in here. You know, I use that same thing. You see the circle. You can see this shape right here. You can see the triangle shadow. That's this one. I focused on the shape of the light. When I threw this in at the end of last week's live stream. But when you put this light in and you put this one in, you know, you see a triangle left. I drew lines to connect them. You see that triangle there. So triangle shadow and elliptical shaped highlight, real important. I focus on these cheeks a lot because where those meet the nostrils, you can do like 1, 2, 3 dots of highlight. And get a real quick nose, it immediately takes 3D form. So we can take colors and of course blend them. So a big part of doing humans or people faces, let's just say faces, is the blending process. And that can be extremely frustrating without a plan when you're working with fast drying acrylic paints. So I keep water, towel. This is my method. This is my setup for blending them. But yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Now brush. I love to use this kind of brush. You know, the fine bristles are a real key component. Real fine bristles. I think most people use a brush. I'm probably the only one that gets tempted to use big, large bristle brushes because, you know, I come from a background of painting houses and walls. You use brushes like this, but this is not great for the smaller, finer work of blending because of the size of the bristles. It doesn't release it onto the canvas, and obviously bigger bristles will leave you with the streakier texture.
Sugar the surfing dog, FYI, that's just a weird face that we did last week, talking about how lighting affects faces.
Somewhere out there is someone that looks exactly like it.
We thought it looked like Rufio maybe from Hood. Yeah. It is not supposed to be an attractive image. So
hey, for somebody, this is attractive. You know, somebody
your
out there
LOLs are warranted.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're just throw together faces and see what comes out. That's the fun of it. All right. So here's what happened. We actually changed the skin tone because I just did this change from my most gold color. This one has the most yellow. As it gets darker, it gets more red. Here, let's flip these. There we go. Now they're in order. Nope. Now they're in order. There we go. As it gets darker, it gets more red. And so what happened was I added a whole bunch of skin pigmentation to it as I got darker, just because of the way I mixed these. So we could actually turn this into a lighter skin toned person that is in a darker shadow just by taking the color out of it, but leaving the darkness in it. And here, I'll show you. That'll be kind of fun. And we'll work on blending while we're at it. So I'll put some black and white on here because that'll let me add some gray. Actually, you know what we should do is just load up a pre-mixed gray. It'll make things faster. So let's go like this. Let's go. Put some white in there. Uh-oh, we got a big goober stopping up my white tube. Let's do this.
So today, Joe, what are we going to be talking about here? So Sugar the surfing dog is curious where this is going. Are you doing like landscapes? Are you doing faces?
People in blending. That's the focus. We're doing people in blending. We're going to focus on how to there we go. I just had to get that white unclogged. Man, you might invest in some decent paint. This is hilarious that I've got this giant paint booger coming out of here. This is a daily occurrence. We got to get this out of here. We got to unclog the there we go.
Live television, watching Joe pull paint boogers.
Yeah, but now you know you're not alone when it happens to you. That's why we have those things. It's like, what? Yeah. This isn't working like the video. Well, videos are edited. All right, I'm just making it gray because that'll make it easier to add things to my colors. So we'll do this. We'll make up some gray. I got some black ready there. And, you know, we'll do some pure white. We'll have that on hand in case we really need to brighten something. We'll put that there. And so we're ready. We're going to start putting some skin tone on. Let's rinse this brush. I do this. This is my process. That's why I flipped the camera down here so you could see. I have a workflow that makes my blending easier. I always have a towel handy. Keep the brush in shape. In shape meaning maintaining that chisel shape. You'll see me using that a lot. And I'll just talk through it.
You gotta send your brush to the brush gym.
Yeah, yeah, man. I like to keep, even though they're cheap brushes.
Chiseled.
Chisel shape. Yeah, you know, I'm
right.
I have this. I've used this for so long. This setup, you know, I'm just really hooked on using it this way. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my painting. I'm going to start using these colors, but I'll add a little gray to take out some of the skin pigmentation and work on some blending while we're at it. So we'll go up
maybe
here.
this can relate to the clogged squeezy bottles. It's not a difficult one to relate to. I think anybody that's ever been to a Mexican restaurant that served salsa in a ketchup
Nice,
dispenser
and a tomato gets in there.
is familiar with the sensation of, man, this is not coming out of here. Maybe I should squeeze harder.
Squeeze harder, and then it comes.
And then wow, all
comes
over
out
the
all
place.
fast. Yeah.
All over the place.
Okay, so here's something I want to point out with blending, with water-based paints. This angle, the touch, all the details of what I'm doing. It's not just random. I've had a lot of time to commit things to muscle memory, so it looks like I just real quick go up and do a random thing, but they're real time tested. Angle, contact, all these things are stuff I've landed on after just a lot of repetition. So I just want to go through some mechanics real quick. I'll lay the bristles down. I'll pull the longest point of the brush along an edge. So let's say I want to blend a shadow like this. This is just a grayer version of the shadow that's on there. I'm going to zoom in a little.
Are you using any references here, Joe? Sugar the Surfing Dog is curious.
No reference. This is just building a face, because the goal here is control. We want to be able to just make what we want to see. What are you imagining? Whatever's in your mind, it could be something you're looking at. We want to be able to copy, but we want to be able to build a believable face. It makes copying a face a lot easier when you're able to manufacture a face completely from imagination, because that means you know all the parts. And when you know all the parts, you go straight to looking for them when you're photo referencing. So we can make this Ben's face. I could turn this into Ben's face, pretty easily, but I don't think that's going to fit the goal of the video. All right, so let's do this now. We're going to take a lighter color in here. I want to keep it shadowed. So we'll go down here and mix. We'll take this and we'll mix it with this gray here. And let's just see what that looks like when I put it on here. Yeah, that's a pretty good option. Let's put a little more color in it. I'm just increasing the color a little, just bumping that up. Okay. All right. So now this stroke right here, I'm on the line that's between the two colors like this. I drag it along like that. Now I discard paint off my brush. I drag it on that line again. This is a blending strategy for getting fine edges. Colors are pre-picked, so I'm not trying to mix a bunch of colors. I'm not trying to dial in a color while I'm trying to blend this. It's important to pick your battle, like isolate your battles. We just have to win the blending battle first. So we're going to go like this. Now, the number of times you go along an edge will change how blended it is. So you saw me just pull in the long point right on that line that's between those colors. And that's going to give me that soft blend between those two. Now, it's going to look zombie-like as I continue this. But once there's no more of the color left, it'll just change the lighting, because that zombie look is a context-based thing right here. So I'm going to start putting more of this color in. We got the gray added, same color I put right there. I'm just adding gray to the same pre-mixed colors that were on there from last week. I'm using that long point of the brush because it has a gentle touch. That longer part of the brush bends more as it makes contact. Okay, we're going to go over here, use that gray mixed with our dark color. Okay, again, we've got this similar color. The goal is that it's the same, but it's probably not. Now, again, I'm going right on that line.
What did you mean with that comment that the zombie look is context-based?
It is a comparison to the other parts of the picture. So this is a cool thing. Is that your expectations, your imagination pieces together the information, like does all of this work without you consciously doing it. It just gives you an instant reaction. But what dictates those, and I just know from trial and error, is the patterns, the light and shadow patterns. And those patterns include what you do with the background lighting compared to the face lighting compared to the rest of the face lighting. So all of this lighting right now, this part looks, for example, like it's missing blood because it has no color compared to these parts that are real saturated with color. But once everything is missing that color, then the whole painting goes into a new context. You know, you're going to interpret the whole painting as being a low color painting. It's a low color scene. You know, because we can look at pictures of people under very colorless lighting, like a nighttime scene or a scary movie scene with real low lighting. You know, you don't see rich, warm color in those kinds of scenes unless it's by a fire. I'm sure there's exceptions.
Sugar the surfing dog would like you to know, Joe, that they love your art and they've been following you for over 10 years now.
Whoa, 10 years. Thank you so much, man.
They say the reason they paint.
Sweet. Oh, man, that's a great compliment. I love to hear that.
If you want to check out their stuff, they got their handle here.
I'd love to see it.
And also, Sugar, if you want to upload anything to the link in the description of this video that you've been working on, Joe will have a look.
Oh, I would love to see that. Okay. So here, once again, I need to do some blending. Now I'm going to use that long point of the brush. I'm going to apply. You know, the steps are apply, distribute, blend, but they don't always happen all three like that. But here I distributed. So I put it on, then I drug it where I want it to go. Now I'm going to blend very carefully. I'm going to take that long point across this line. It's going to hit that edge between the two. And my pressure will control how much it blends. You know, it'll affect how much it blends. And with water-based paint, we can continue to do layer after layer to fine-tune this. We only have so much time, so a lot of them don't come out just right. That's to be expected. So you don't want to get obsessed, you know, which I'm a hypocrite because I do get obsessed with getting just the perfect amount of gradient. I mean, really what you're doing.
Joe doesn't get obsessed. That's a lie.
Yeah. Well, you know, we've seen each other from childhood. We know how we can get obsessed with it.
Obsession, man. It's a blessing and a curse, you know. It's a blessing and a curse. It makes you exceptionally good at what you're obsessing about.
Oh, and that's right, yeah, because you just keep on
challenging. Because what if you're obsessing about that weird thing that you said before hanging up the phone in that strained relationship? All right, now you're going to be obsessing. You're going to get really good at stressing out about that phone call.
Right.
You got to be careful with it, man. It's a powerful weapon, obsession.
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah, so, you know, all these patterns, I obsess over trying to understand the patterns. Once I know that I'm able to do a picture, the picture doesn't get finished because I accomplished my goal. You know, what I'm obsessed with.
How many of you guys out there are obsessive, would you say? In this room, in this chat, let me know if you consider yourselves obsessive. I'm kind of curious if this is like a thing.
That's a good question.
Is more common in
Is it just
painters or creators, people that like seek out to create a thing of detail, you know, like if obsession is just regular.
Okay, once again, I'm just pointing out
T's art saying they're obsessed for show. And then Mavis is kind of delineating hyper focusing being different from obsessiveness.
Well, I agree with that, but there's a line somewhere. I want to know where that line is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to just so I'm doing I'm just changing the subject for a moment. I'm just doing micro adjustments on the redness of these lips, because they can't be too red. I got to keep my grayer color scheme to accomplish my goal. And you can see me doing the same technique over and over, dragging that long point, gently dragging the bristles across where the two colors meet. I get the two colors on, and I drag them across. And then you can also see a strange shaped chin forming here. And that all of these three-dimensional shapes are dictated by that gradient, how far the gradient goes. So these are creating shapes I don't want, but it's worth pointing them out because we want to understand what's happening. I have this little spot bumping out, so my person's got a weird growth. We got a sharp edge, so they've got a very geometric thing that I don't want. All right, we can go back to what you were talking about now. Obsession, hyper-focused.
I mean, I think we exhausted that topic, Joe, and this is your show, man. You just take it any old direction you want.
Yeah, well, I think it's a real valuable one because I've actually felt real down on myself in moments of, how you compare yourself to, how comparison kind of comes in like a disease, and you're like, how come I can't do that? How come I'm not having that success that I see that person having? It's a plague when you start getting, and realizing that you have that nature to obsess. I've found myself, like, after 2 days of working on a tiny area, I like to pretend I charge a certain amount by the hour, but I'm like, that's so false. I just gave this person my work for $1 an hour. And then I start feeling down on myself and forget about that bigger picture of, I'm putting my time into essentially what I'm interested in learning. I'm investing my time just like going to school.
Yeah. Well, there's some discussion here about the difference between hyper focus and obsession, being two different things. And I would volunteer that, hyper focus, I guess, focus of any kind is probably a controlled action. It's one that you're managing. You're at the wheel and you are focusing. Whereas obsession is a bit more of a passenger sport, it kind of runs away with you, and you're not really in control of it. You're on a ride, and it's suggested here that the focus is necessary for progress and success, and that's true. Obsessiveness can absolutely derail any sort of progress.
Yeah, man. I would say I experience both. I get obsessed, and then I have to check myself and say, okay, let it go. It can be hard.
Man, I've in my age, dude, I've pinpointed one of my bigness weakness.
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
My bigness weakness, you guys. My biggest weakness is, that I have trouble maintaining a line of thought. I just forgot what I was going to say. What were we talking about, Joe?
Your biggest weakness. Talking about pinpointing a biggest weakness is where you're at.
Yeah.
What is it? Obsessing over a little thing.
Letting go.
Let me guess. Your biggest weakness.
Letting go. I can't let go. Man. I can't.
Yeah.
It sucks. I obsess. And it's like a superpower, but it's also a super weakness.
Yeah.
I got to manage it.
Hey, Ben, there's this great movie. I think it's called, was it Frozen? Frozen, yes.
Yeah. Tell me about Frozen. What's that about?
It's got a great song for you. Yeah. You familiar with that one?
I'm pretty sure the only reason I have a hard time letting stuff go is because it hasn't been put to catchy pop music yet. My plight. I'm pretty sure if it was put to a catchy pop song, I would just let it go.
How many things are we certain of in life because it's in a song? Do you ever wonder that? It's like it's in a song, therefore.
Well, Joe, this is the moment in the conversation where I say, I've been thinking about that.
Where does truth come from, Ben? Tell me.
Well, I get heartbroken. Okay. I'm an emotional guy. I've been through some stuff that sucked, and I
Okay.
needed to navigate my way through it. All right. This
Yeah.
is a short.
Got it.
I'll keep the story short because
Got
who
it.
cares
Got
about
it.
Ben's emotions? We're
Thank you.
talking about pain. But
I want to hear.
it's I did it again, man. Oh my
It's all right.
gosh.
It's all right. Take
Maybe
your
I
time.
didn't
We're just
maybe I
painting.
didn't
We're just painting.
maybe I didn't
Maybe it'll
sequence
come to
that.
you while I'm talking about what I'm filling with here. You know, I'm continuing to make the colors so much more gray.
Okay. I
Go
got
ahead.
it. I'll remember it too whenever you want to talk about it again, Joe.
Okay. Go ahead. No, it's
All right.
it's nothing I was
Hey,
gonna say.
so
I'm doing the
music.
same thing I've been doing.
All right. So you've been through some stuff, right? And you're like, oh, what's true about this, right? If it's in a song, why is it true, right? That's the question: is why does it feel more true if it's in a song?
Yeah.
Well, because when you're writing a song, what you're trying to do is you're trying to arrive at the way that you really feel about a thing, subject matter.
Okay.
You know, you and I are both
Okay.
songwriters.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I've done this, you know, I've lost people, people have died, I've been through breakups, I've written songs about these things because I am trying to distill the complicated network of feelings in my brain down into something real and true about it so that I can
Yeah.
accept it, right?
Okay.
And move
Okay. Yeah.
through it. And music is that process of distilling complicated, noisy brain activity down into something simple, into a line, into a catchy hook, into a thing. And by way of that process of distilling it down into a line,
Okay.
you are telling your brain, this is reliable. This conclusion I've found, this punchline in this song, this is the bottom line.
So wait. Let me back up.
Process-
Are you
Yeah.
saying the process of putting something into a song like solidifies the truth factor?
It is the way that the human brain arrives at something it feels it can count on,
Hmm.
distilling it into the simplicity of song. And so just a byproduct of that convinces us that it's true. Whether it's objectively true or not is anybody's guess. But why do we
Make
feel it's
new
more true if
friends,
it's a
but
hook
keep
in a
the
song?
yeah, because I think there is a truth element. One is silver and the other's gold. Totally. The songs I learned from
You know,
childhood.
songs are used in brainwashing, in you know,
Dude, that's
getting people
dark.
to feel certain ways, think certain ways. It's just a very effective, influential modality to
Yeah. Okay.
affect the way people think. Music, anyways.
Yeah. Right. That makes sense. You always give, I think, to sociology, I think you give deeper thought than I do. I like to think of I think we kind of do the same thing, but in different fields. You know what I mean? Like I'm interested in the behind the curtain mechanics of perception. And I would say you get a little more into the behind the curtain mechanics of emotional processing.
Yeah, that's true. That's
You
true.
know,
And yeah, Dale Hawkins, you're right, man. I am not focusing. I am not
yeah.
focusing.
Yeah.
I need to work on that.
All
That's
right.
because
This
I have
person
not
clearly needs brown
had
eyes.
my allocation of coffee yet. So what's up,
Really
Sherry from
nice.
Ontario? And no, that is not Janet Jackson, Round Brush Steve.
Whoa,
This
we're
is
working on. Okay, I just want to point. If you looked at the beginning of the video, you would have seen a very zombie-like color I put on here. It's just beginning. It still looks zombie-like, but it's beginning to look less. I just want to point that out because the context that tells us this is pale is disappearing. Yeah, so it's not Janet Jackson, but what a funny coincidence. If I did, I would brag about it. I'd be like, oh yeah, I can totally paint her from memory. Okay.
And then Val's up in the building saying, long time no see, y'all.
Nice. Good to see you, Val. Okay, more
Y'all.
blending here. So I'm using that
Yeah.
long point of the brush. It doesn't have to be the long point of a brush to do nice blending, but it's a gentle bristle pulled between two colors, a gentle touch with bristles. So here I'm going to pull that black over the colored part I just put even though it's tiny, I'm focusing on where the two colors meet. It dried, so it didn't actually work. So I'm going to grab more of my, I'm grabbing this color here. This is a trick with eyes when you do eye color. If you put the most intense color in that lower, kind of a lower circle area, and then you just put the pupil over the top of it. This creates a natural circumstance where the most light hits that area of a person's eyeball. So you get a nice natural looking glow. Sorry about the autofocus on the camera. It's going in and out. I just saw that. Okay, now we just put that black pupil on there. Dunk, right there. I'm going to zoom out so that it'll stop.
Mavis is curious about how to make a zombie look like intentionally.
Remove the color from where light meets shadow, because the way you make somebody look natural, and I'm not just pulling that answer out to pretend like I know, that really is the answer. It's these areas right here, the areas on the lines, everything I've been blending. Make sure that you just remove your transition colors, basically, just less transition or mid-tone, lose the mid-tones, because then you'll get real pale transitions. And that's what happens naturally with paint. That's annoying. People don't typically want it to happen. And it causes it to look like there's no blood in the skin. That's what it does. So when you have that colorful red blood in the skin, you end up with a lot of that. You have the subsurface scattering, I've heard it called, but I think it's more helpful just to think about what's going on is light goes inside of my skin and then scatters into the shadows. And when that happens, you've got shadows illuminated with a rich filtered color, which is red. So you see it on a face. And now it's a comparison. So all I need for this person's going to look a lot less zombie-like as I progress here, because I'm about to get rid of this big colorful forehead, and then I'll change the background to be something that's colorful too. And
what is a TDS victim? DVK2. What is a TDS victim? Joe, does a TDS victim mean anything to you?
No, I don't know what that means. TDS. I'm not good with acronyms. You use them when you want to assure somebody that you know more.
Yeah.
Don't be offended at me saying.
Identify yourself with the esoteric.
That's what you
Terminal.
Hey, is that painting
solutions?
Yeah.
I found the terminal data solutions victim. That's what they said.
Is that? So are you? That really is what the acronym means? Terminal data.
No, man. Who knows what TDS means?
We don't know what it means.
Hey, but Andy says, do you have a trick for keeping the direction of where the eyes are looking correct? Like keeping
that's a great question. I'm so glad you brought that up. Okay.
You don't want them to look turkey-eyed,
Yeah. Okay. Now, again, I just want to point out that the zombie factor is going down. You see, because we have less saturated color present. We still got little bits in eyes here and there, But as we get rid of all of the clues that say this is pale compared to the environment, that this just becomes a different environment. That's all. Okay, so eyes. This was always a mystery to me. So the way
Joe, I gotta interrupt you, man. Bearded here says that's a beautiful self-portrait, bro.
Thank you.
Joe, you really captured your likeness here.
Beautiful self-portrait. Thank you.
All right, so continue. How do you make those eyes not go wonky? We don't want the eyes to be wonky.
This bearded fellow, if I come through your town, we're gonna have a beer together, okay? I like the way you think.
Bearded. Bearded space underscore to be specific, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, again, here's blending. I want to include blending tips in this. So I put my one color on, I put my second color on that was the black. I used my reddest skin tone. Then I put the black on top. Now I'm just dragging the black into it to make that transition of hair to skin more colorful. That's why the first color went on, so that the transitions don't look zombie-like, but where dark meets lighter color has color. So the presence of the midtone, the colorful transition, is how we control that factor. If the person looks like they have living blood-filled skin, or if it's just a plastic something else, some other material. Yeah, they tend to look artificial. Were we talking about something else before I went into that?
Yeah, we were talking about
self-portrait.
Yeah, how your eyeball things are sometimes prone.
Oh yeah, controlling the direction of the eyeball. Thank you. Yeah, we want to control the direction of eyes. It's the relation to the side. Look, let me show you.
You see, guys, it's not just me that has focus problems, and yet an abundance of obsessiveness.
That's not it. Yeah.
Focus and obsession are not the same. I have no focus and loads of obsession.
Okay, we're gonna put an eyeball right here. I'm gonna move the camera a little bit. No, you can see it. Forget about this character here. Okay, we're just gonna take gray. Yeah, forget about it. Okay, nice, big, easy eyeball. Okay. And we'll start. It's the short answer is it's all about the surrounding socket and that middle circle in relation to the whole socket. This is what really confuses people, is that we think the direction of the eyes is just based on that spear-shaped eyelid opening, the whites of the eyes compared to that. It's not. That's not it. I feel very excited that I spent a long time fiddling with the directions of eyes, being frustrated at this and just staring at photo after photo, person after person. And the problem is, when I get real fixated on a problem like that, I'm having a conversation with somebody about, where we're going to go eat lunch or whatever. And I'm looking at their eyes moving their sockets, trying to solve that problem. And they're like, dude,
you're like, why?
How did you miss what I said?
They're over there thinking about turkey sandwiches, and you're like, the direction of your eyeballs within the socket is
and you can't say that stuff.
You
can't say it out loud. That's what
how's it going, man? What you up to? I mean, I'm just looking at the sockets of your eyeballs and the way that they're
observing,
twitching and tracking. And
yeah,
I mean, turkey sounds good, guys. Turkey.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's my life. Welcome to my life. It's very frustrating when a whole menu has pictures all over it that don't tell the same story as the text. For me, that's a form of lying, because I read pictures as a higher form of truth than text. And so, it's very frustrating because it feels like just a bold-faced lie. And I go right to the pictures because my brain prioritizes it. I don't read it. It does.
Same.
It just.
You know what? I actually actively dislike menus. I don't like them. I don't want to look at them. I don't want to have to search through them and find stuff. My brain just sees them all as like obfuscation. It's just a mess.
Whoa,
it's like,
that's a word.
Whatever I want in there is lost somewhere, and it's a task to try and have to find it. I would rather the restaurant just say, "Hey, here's a really good thing we make. You'll enjoy it." Plop, and then charge you for it.
Yeah,
I would
right.
prefer that.
Yeah. I feel disrespected when the picture and the text don't add up. I always feel taken advantage of, lied to. Like the burger definitely doesn't look like the picture. That's a lie.
Yeah.
You said something with the picture and then didn't live up to it. That's what I feel. Okay, we got an eyeball. We got an eyeball. Now this is straight toward us, the light and shadow. I use the old sculpting with light and shadow. The highlight is directly in the middle of the circle, telling us that comes toward us. Everything's symmetrical. Ball is right in the middle. So we quickly interpret this as coming right toward us. Now here's the cool thing is I can put eyelids on this and I can orient them left or right, up or down. And if I maintain this relationship of light and shadow, it continues facing this way. It doesn't shift it over to be looking a certain way. So let's make somebody that is oriented with eyelids that are a little to the outside. We'll say we'll say nose is to the person's nose will be over here. The right side of their head will be over here. And we'll just put a real quick makeshift eyelid on there. Let's take this color and we're just going to go across the top. We'll intersect that top of the eye and we'll come down and really cut off a lot of the inside. And then we'll do another one. We'll do a slightly darker color and we'll go like this. And we'll leave more on the outside. There, see all the white of the eye that I leave on the outside because I want to demonstrate that its location in this fold of eyelid is not where the magic is. You see, it's still looking at us. It's still facing right toward us. This gradient, you wouldn't think that a gradient on the white of the eye could have so much impact, but it has a lot. But that's not the only thing because an eye has a socket and the shape of these eyelids tell us the location of the eyeball. So you see, this setup of eyelids is not randomly placed. It gives us a general location of eyeball. And if that whole set of light and shadow is offset, this person can suddenly look cross-eyed or whatever the opposite when the eyes go out, it can look either way. That can change direction.
I believe turkey-eyed was the expression they chose.
Yeah. Man, you got to be careful what you say. You got to be careful with these things because, you might be talking about the way a family member actually looks all the time. So, it's just,
that's true.
It's just a look. It's just a look. We're just trying to understand how.
Well, Round Brush Steve here volunteers probably the most true thing I've ever heard said, which is when Joe meets you, he's imagining the shape of your skull.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that ahead of time.
So if you ever meet Joe, just know he's looking right at you.
That is the price you pay.
He's like, your name I'm not going to remember. This moment I will remember, but gosh, I'm going to remember the shape of your skull.
Yeah. Well, and the more I study it, the truer that becomes, the more tuned in. You know what I mean? Like listening to a noise for a long time. You're like, what is that noise that keeps going? And then what? Oh, now you're tuned in, and now it's going to torment you.
Mm-hmm. And then regarding menus, Mavis left a restaurant because they couldn't decipher the menu. Then Round Brush Steve says the best restaurants have shorter menus. I agree. Thank you. I like that.
Yeah,
Leanne has also left restaurants. They're not a fan of the electric menus. Also not a fan of the electric menus. Who wants to have to bring their phone to get dinner out? That's
yeah. That feels. I agree.
Phone behind. Don't get penalized for not bringing your communications device.
Man, exactly. Well said.
Talk, man.
That's exactly what it is. It's getting penalized.
And also,
that's exactly what it is.
Round Brush Steve is a turkey, and they're offended. So watch your language around Round Brush. And
okay,
Andy says Hannibal was an artist too. Hannibal was an artist too. I don't know why they said that.
Hannibal Hector.
I don't know why they said that, but
it might maybe it pertains in some way. All right. Well, we're welcoming all thoughts.
That's a very provocative statement there, Andy.
Yeah. I think the train of thought is how.
What is art?
I think the way you go from that next is how is Joe similar to Hannibal? I think that's where we're.
That's true. What is the Venn diagram of Mural Joe and Hannibal?
Where do they overlap? Yeah, exactly. Okay, I totally got distracted painting the rest of this face when I wanted to paint the rest of this face. But you can see me quickly using the same approach, same blending, that gentle touch with the bristles across the meetup of two colors, getting them before they dry, and then you keep doing this with lighter and lighter coats of paint to get your super soft finished look that I won't achieve in the time of this video. I just thought I'd demonstrate. Okay, so that answers the question, I hope, about the eye, where the eyes are focusing.
Yeah, you've provoked Mavis to wonder if you could be a normal looking eye and a zombie looking eye. Mavis is really into the zombie thing. I think Mavis is working
Yeah.
on a zombie piece
Okay. All right. That's cool.
on the
Huh.
weekends.
Well, how would you do a zombie eye? A normal looking eye, I think, needs a bit more color.
Screwed up, right? Just the opposite of what you just tried to do. Just screw it up.
Well, let's make sure first of all.
What's a wrong way to do a zombie eye? That's not a zombie eye. I'm a zombie professional. I've worked in the zombie industry for 27 years. That's not a zombie eye.
What are we, 10 years old?
Everything is a zombie eye if it's just screwed up.
Yeah, just screwed up. No, but we're after better answers than that. It's not going to be good.
That's true.
Okay, no, I like this question.
Just
I like
screw it
this
up.
question.
Mavis, just screw it up. Duh.
Okay. Look, zombie eye, I'm going to make sure that it does not have very much color where my light part of the gradient meets the dark part of the gradient. So it can be white. I feel like it'd be cool if a zombie eye was a bit on the yellow side. Let me take my most gold colored skin tone.
Maybe a little malnourishment.
Yeah. And I know since this has a little yellow in it, when it meets gray, it's going to tend toward the green, which would be perfect. No blood in this eye. So no mid-tone, just my gradient that goes from the lighter color to the darker. So now the eye doesn't look like it has. I'm going to zoom in. Target that. Yeah, we're kind of doing the opposite. Approach is what we want when we want something to look natural. Okay, so now we've got a lot of color in there. We could probably leave the green pupil. I think it'd be cool if we did a little bit of
vibrant. The green is definitely vibrant. There's something going on in that person.
I'm going to use my blending strategy to soften the edge of the iris, like it's losing its integrity. It's losing its structural integrity. You know what I mean? That's my take on the zombie eye. We're going to make it losing a little bit of its structural integrity.
The connective tissue is starting to elongate.
Yeah, it's getting all blurry in there. Yeah. And then we're gonna take the blood.
This is something that I wanted to bring up, Joe. There's this thing called the Uncanny Valley. Are you familiar with that expression, the Uncanny
Valley? What is
Valley?
the Uncanny Valley? I've heard it, but I don't know what it means.
So it's like it's reference to the distance between something that's obviously human and something that's almost human, but not quite, and therefore quite disturbing.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
So it's like uncanny the way it looks like a human, but they call it.
Oh, yeah. And that's interesting how it's disturbing. My question
but it's always disturbing, and that's one of the bigger problems. Not to open up this Pandora's box, but AI is having trouble closing that gap of the uncanny valley.
Yeah, it's a little bit disturbing. This is
you're
the key.
Making a zombie here by just like embracing the uncanny valley, just taking a little human and making it a little wrong, just a little, the shape, the relationship, just a little
wrong. Yeah.
Outside.
There is an element of that. Yeah, there is an element of that. But more specifically, this is not my goal. I never want to do this, but I do feel like I could teach AI to close that gap. AI's approach is not understanding the parts and assembling. AI's approach is a system of morphing the collection of all knowledge. It's not the way we envision an end product and assess the parts.
And it doesn't know when to stop morphing. That's the thing, is like it's too morphy. It's trying to get like the tissue on your face moving around and your expressiveness, but it's like also animating your skull structure.
Yeah, there's certain criteria, but I'm not saying it's not on its way to perfecting it. It's a very intimidating thing, that subject. Let's not dampen the mood. But this is the key.
We're already stressing out the chat. People are like, "Oh, here we go. Here we go."
Yeah.
Well, I'm failing.
I'm removing midtones to remove blood from this form. This is what I'm doing. So here's a grayer color. I'm going to make sure that we don't have color where light meets shadow. That's all I'm doing. Just making sure that where they meet, it doesn't get colorful. It's okay to have some color, because you might have real colorful lighting on a dead face, But where the lifeless look happens is right here where my brush is going. See, between that, there's an absence of mid-tone color. And that makes this face have no translucent, illuminated blood in it. And that's what we reverse on a face. So here's a real gray lighting scheme. We'll go back to this one. A real gray lighting scheme. But we're going to make sure that in the key places, we put plenty of color compared to the rest of the picture. So I'll go down here. I'll wrap up a few more blended edges on this. This person kind of has a natural frown. My portrait, my self-portrait has a little bit of a natural. I feel like I'm almost there. It's just got a few adjustments that need made. Okay, so we're going to go like this. We're going to go shadow. We're going to close in on the conflicting colors. We'll take some color out of that just so that our context isn't in conflict anymore. Let's shape this chin just using a grayer skin tone, using the same shapes for the light and shadow. That's too colorful there, so we'll add some gray to it. There's my pre-mixed gray. We'll take that. We'll put this on, and under the previous lighting scenario, this looked very zombie-like. But once we get rid of all of the brighter color, this just becomes a new lighting scheme. That's all. Put a little bit of light on the neck. Let's get a little more.
Just like that, Mavis understands the zombie thing.
Nice.
You've done it, Joe. You've
done
done
it.
it.
Sweet. Happy to hear that. That's good. Okay, now here, this is where I want just the opposite. This light needs blended, but not just blended. It needs blended with a little boost of color so that this person is not a zombie. So here's my little boost. I grabbed this color here because the rest has gray in it. So this goes right here in the middle, right here. And you know, this is why it's so helpful to know the shape of a shadow, not random blurred blending. The shadow has a shape. So I want to know that before I start so that I can have an easier time. Okay, now here's the shadow color. Now I'm going to drag that brush right along this line to make that blend. There we go. It's like doing a coloring book where I want to get the shape in place.
You know, one of the most tricky things I think is just me speaking here is trying to understand like that little line that you cut around the throat, the shape of that shadow. That is very important, understanding the shape of that shadow. But what you're doing in your brain is you're saying to yourself, all right, if light is over there and it's coming across the jaw, and then the jaw is throwing that line across the neck, and the neck has that little bump there and that little indent there, and then it comes out here. You know, you're like watching lines move over three-dimensional objects in your brain, you know?
Yeah, you're right about that, but you don't have to do that every time. You know, you experience
that's some advanced thinking, you know.
It is, yeah. So you shouldn't feel bad if it doesn't come quickly. However, there's repeats. This is the good news, that there's a lot of repeating that happens. So you're like, oh yeah, I've made this shape before. You know, I've seen this. So it's not just rendering in your mind from scratch every time. It's not like that, you know. Okay, there we go. We got a little bit of light on the neck, and you know, I'm just kind of doing an estimation of where these shadows might fall, trying to get a little bit of a soft lines here for a throat that doesn't look overly chiseled, you know. All right, so we're just taking out all of the extreme color, and you can see my person is definitely looking less zombie-like at this point. Now I'm going to get a darker brown and cut out this side of the head, because that's an area giving us saturated color, like oh, why is the rest of the face pale? but we won't even ask that question if there is no saturated color present in the picture. We won't have to even ask that. Let's go down here.
You know,
kitchen.
Joe, what is the deal with zombies? And this is not a Seinfeld joke. I'm just curious. What's the deal with zombies? Why is everyone so enthralled with zombies? What is a zombie? Zombie's not even a thing. It's like it's a sci-fi or a
It's an
fantasy
invented concept.
creation that society's latched onto and turned into like a cultural phenomenon. This is like a profit-making center. The theme of zombies. Hollywood is cranking out zombie T-shirts, zombie hats, zombie lunchboxes. Why are people into zombies? What is it about a half-dead human-like thing that is out to get us?
Is this one of those things where you're telling? Are you saying this because you already have the answer, Bruin? Because I don't have an answer for that.
I'm gonna find an answer. I am in pursuit. I'm just so curious, and feel free to illuminate because I'm not into zombies, so I can only speculate.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I get that, like, there's like this fear of others and like making other people that don't agree with your way of seeing the world as like otherly and more animal or less human so that they can be killed more easily without your conscience getting in the way. And this is a real fantasy that humans like to play with. What if they were just like dispensable? I mean, what you could just slice them to pieces and there was no consequence, the enemy. Let's just make them zombies so nobody cares. We'll just shoot them to pieces and blood and guts everywhere, right? Why is this attractive to people? I don't get it.
Interesting. Why is it attractive? That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know the answer to it.
What is it about dehumanizing the opposition that's so favorable?
Is that what it is? Is that what you think it is? Dehumanizing the opposition? Zombies. Why are zombies cool? They've been cool ever since Frankenstein. I mean, people have latched onto the idea. Well, I shouldn't say ever since then. I'm sure it's way before my time.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it's like a fascination with death. Mavis is suggesting, or like Dale saying, the mystery of the unknown. But I don't think that it's just that, man, because then it would be more mystical. It would be more attractive. It would be more curiosity.
That seems like like I can see the point.
This is specifically disgusting. This is specifically unappealing, and you want to make it go away as fast as possible with machine guns. That's not a fascination. That is a desire to destroy something.
Well, they became cool, in recent past. It's had the cool factor. What's that movie with Will Smith that he's in? Legend. I Am Legend. I Am Legend. Okay, sure. Like ups the cool factor on zombies, because that was the first movie I remember giving zombies superhuman performance ability, like running really fast. So the cool factor got bumped up. It wasn't just like something you saw on the old Monsters TV shows where a zombie walks around with their arms held straight out. It's
I mean, everybody's just talking about zombies in here. As soon as you talk about zombies, everybody got something to say. Everybody got an opinion. As soon as something looks like a zombie, it's like, oh, he's zombies. Zombies. It's like, I'm just so fascinated about what the zombie thing. And Court QUA, Court Qua just walked in us talking about zombies and stuff while you were just a second ago talking about light and shadow and the construction of a face. We drifted off into, like the uncanny valley and looking inhuman. And now I'm like, why are people so into zombies?
Why do people love zombies? Yeah, it's a great question. Why do they?
And they just, and it's like this vampire thing too, right? If you get bit by one or if you get touched by one, you become it. There's this real like fear of others infecting us with their way of being, and we're gonna then become part of them, and then we are taken away from the us, and it's the them, and it's just so primal and stupid. And I'm sorry if you love zombies, but it's just so
let's not be too hard on it. Let's just admit that people like it.
Hey, stupid is cool though. Stupid stuff is cool. There's a lot of stupid stuff I'm into, right? I love little Canyon Defense Tower shooter games that are, like 8-bit nonsense on the internet. Right? This is stupid. Cool still, fun.
Stuff. You like stupid stuff. Yeah, I'm glad you finally have admitted that.
Place for stupid.
Yeah.
Well, it's and there's
All
living
right.
in denial is not a good way to be, Joe. You need to come face to face with your
Yeah.
stupidity.
Yeah. Right. So I'm gradually, back on the subject of the face. I'm blending over and over by focusing on that edge that is between my two colors. I put my two colors on. I put my shadow color. I put my light in all of these little areas of this person. I put a shadow color. I put a light color. I drag the brush on that line, and I can just keep layering and layering. So then it's understanding this map of parts. So I think maybe it would be valuable. I'll kind of wrap this up because I bet we're short on time. I'm gonna do this. This is like that mood lighting. Now I used grayer colors so we get a little more of that shadowed look instead of just dark skin tone, a little more of a shadow look. So this now looks maybe like a bit lighter complexion, but in darker light. But it has still facial features of a dark-skinned ethnicity. It still has those features. So it still looks that way. But it now does not have the zombie look. We don't have that. So now I'm going to change the context of the whole picture.
Hey, you know the thing about zombies, Joe?
Let's hear. What about zombies? Tell me about zombies.
You've been waiting.
While we're on the subject of zombies. So we're gonna put some backlighting in here. We're just doing a big, messy, abstract background. We're lightening it, making it less colorful. Let's add some yellow and black to get rid of the red. So we'll add some green to get rid of red. So this is all together a little bit more of a gray. Environment. We'll come over here. We'll get rid of all of this rich red color. Everything's just getting grayer so that when we look at this picture, there we go. That's not a zombie. That's just a little bit dark lighting. I'd say the forehead is still a little bit bright.
Yeah. Nah, dude, that is cool. That is super cool. Also,
let's get a little more light on that.
Also, I got some work up here by
all right.
By our man Bearded. Check this out.
Okay, let's check it out. Let's see what you got. Oh, nice. I like that.
What's going on here, man? What's going on?
Very cool. Check that out.
I see like bones.
You know what I really like I do see just like the essence. We see it doesn't take much to see a face. It's kind of like the thing that you're always looking for is where's a face. So I see a face in you. What I really like the effect of that magenta color looking like light that's bursting out because it's in between the dark areas. I noticed that it's placed where there were dark edges, so we don't see a lot of the light magenta on top of the light gray. And this is a really cool pattern that you can make hot lava. You can make lava glow. You can make a glow effect when you create a shadow and then in the shadow put a color so that it's surrounded. And I can see that you use that effect there so that there's a really cool magenta glow coming from deep in the texture.
It's so nice anguishy. I detect anguish in this image.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's kind of, to me, it has a little bit of an angels and demons vibe to it.
Yeah, totes.
Because it looks kind of feathery and wingy and skull. Like, so I see essence of those associations.
Like red and black are the colors of like burning and fire, and that which has been burned is now black.
But this is kind of pink and black. There's a little more magenta, so it's not all the way red.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And then also check this one out from Round Brush Steve.
Whoa, what are we looking at?
Round Brush Steve coming in with the Jetsons.
Dude, this is the future.
Oh, I like this. Look at this. Look at this.
Man.
What up? A little sneaky peeky.
Oh. Let's ask Round Brush Steve how to control the direction that eyeball's looking.
And then the little like bug splatters on the helmet. Nice touch, Steve.
Nice. Ooh, I like. Yeah, that's a good catch. I wouldn't have seen that if you hadn't. Man, that's really neat.
Take it from a motorcyclist, man. I know about those little things. Wait, no, I don't.
The round edge. Sorry, I think I keep messing up. That's really cool. The reflection on that is spot on, man. Nice work.
Yep. All right, that's it.
Beautiful. Okay. Let's get rid of this hairline because that looks a little zombie-ish, you know. Nobody wants a zombie-ish hairline. So we're gonna take my brown color. We'll add a little bit of I'm gonna put the gray in there. I got a pre-mixed gray that we can put in there down here. Let's get some gray. Here we go. Let's go up here, put some gray in there. It's not all the way gray, you know, it's just allowing the other parts of the picture to be more colorful in comparison. So comparisons are where the magic happens. It's how it all compares. You can take a picture, desaturate it, saturate it, boost the contrast, but you know, as long as you're doing the whole picture, it doesn't cease to look like that picture. You know, it's when you're editing I'm talking about like when you're editing an image and you get frustrating results. Bad results have to do with working on one part of the picture and then it's not in harmony with the other part. It's not telling the right story, you know.
And you know, Joe, I something you and I do that's fun to tell everyone is you and I, we get into some really off the cuff conversations, right? We're just shooting from the hip like Wyatt, or just plow plow plow, whatever nonsense back and forth. And then like we'll say some stuff and it'll get weird and we'll be like, all right, I gotta go. And then
I gotta go.
A half hour later, an hour later, we're sitting there processing all the garbage that just came out of our mouths at each other.
What did we say?
And we're thinking to ourselves, man, I probably could have put that in a less offensive way, or maybe I didn't entirely mean that way. And I think I did that when I called zombies stupid. What I'm actually trying to say, is that I don't understand it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. I call things stupid that I don't understand. My wife loves it. She loves it. Let me tell you.
I know, but there is this fascinating,
I just don't get it. Yeah, and it's very weird. So not stupid, very creative and interesting and fascinating expressions of the human condition, but I don't get it. That's all.
The great question is why. We just want to know why. Why is it like that? Okay, so that's good. I'm glad you brought that up. A story of my life, saying things that I want to suck back in later. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Hey, failing publicly, Joe, it's the way forward.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's that extreme. You called zombies stupid, but there's no real zombies to take offense. It's all right.
That's true. Well, I learned Round Brush Steve is part turkey, and he got offended about the eyeballs comment earlier. So I don't know. Maybe we got some zombies in the room too.
There's always somebody.
You don't know. You don't know. There might be a zombie in the room. There might be a zombie in the room.
Yeah. We all identify in different ways.
That's what I'm saying, man. You got to be sensitive to this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to finish this off. Mavis had a real good suggestion that we do homework assignments. Okay, I'm not going to promise to always give homework assignments because this is for entertainment. But I want to say, if you would like to intentionally practice what you see me doing, if it's helpful to you to have a bit of direction on how to practice these skills that I use to basically build a face, right? It's understanding the parts, putting the parts together, having a way to three-dimensionally model it. Okay. The way that's done is by understanding this map of shapes. And I'm going to move to the whiteboard on this rather than paint it. So here
just a little comment here from Courtois says they've not tried to do prostrates in acrylics. I'm not sure what prostrates is, but that's what they've typed.
I know it as a human part. We're talking about parts. I don't know
prostate. What that is. It's a prostate, Joe. That's called a prostate. They say I've not tried to do prostrates in acrylics, only graphite. This really helps me with color and tonal value.
You have to forget. Yeah, I'm gonna forgive me for not knowing. I feel like I should know terms, but I don't know a lot of terms. I don't know what prostrates is. So someone educate me on that one.
It's lying stretched out on the ground with one's face downward. Prostrate.
Yeah, but is that the context? Is that what we're talking about?
Nope. Okay.
Clusters?
Of distress, exhaustion, or illness. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So like someone who's extremely weak.
Oh yeah, you're trying to capture, maybe trying to capture the feeling. We're talking about capturing a mood or a feeling, right?
Sure.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about. Hold on, I'm just getting it.
Actually, it's a typo. They meant portraits, not prostrates.
Boy, you really sent us. You sent us.
Oh,
running on
man.
that one. We're
Court
like,
Qua, I'm
oh,
over here
man,
on Google. I'm over here Googling prostrates and trying to connect the dots for you.
Got to
Man.
scramble in trying to figure out why are we
Yikes.
talking about people being prostates? What?
Hey, get your prostate gland checked, you guys. If you're 45 or over, it's not worth it.
That's what we talked about today.
The awkwardness is not a reason to lose your life. Just get over it and
Just get over it. No, okay. Very good. Oh,
so
man.
thank you, Court Qua, for that PSA that we got.
Okay, this you'll find tremendously helpful. Let me show you something that I find tremendously helpful. You know, we're gonna make Ben right here. Ben, give me a look. Let's do Ben's face right
All right, here we go.
All
Here's
right,
my
check
face.
this out. Ben, I have this part memorized. Top is like this. This is the top of the eyelids. Now, it's like up and over, you know, like this. Since you make the two tops of the eyelids. I saw on Ben, if you look at him, he has a slope to his eyes. And we both kind of have it. Do you see how our eyes are lower on the outside corner?
I've been told I have sad-looking eyes.
Well, this is why. I just need you to know that not everybody has this. And yours are more extreme than mine. Mine are more level.
RSF. Some people have RBF. I have RSF. Resting sad face.
I don't know what that is. Okay, look.
Resting
When you're
sad
doing
face.
eyes, when you're doing eyes, corner to corner, inside corner, outside corner, you'll see a slope. And does it go this way? Does it go this way, or is it level? That's a real big personality. If you don't get that, you might miss the likeness of the person. A lot of people have similar locations of these parts, but the tilts really changes a personality of a face. So when I'm doing Ben, I'm really going to look for that. Now he's got a pretty significant slope this way. You can see it, the corner to corner. And of all of the people in our family, his is the most. And I've spent a lot of time staring at Ben's face while he's talking to me about other things. As we
discussed earlier. As we discussed earlier.
So I knew this before I started. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to make a lower part of the eye that's a little less curved than the upper part of the eye.
Round brush, Steve, how did you know that on my bucket list is the desire to learn piano? Did I say that? I must have said that because it is. I want to learn piano, man, and I want to sail. I want to sail and I want to learn piano.
Okay.
I thought surfing was on my bucket list, seeing as how I live next to the Pacific Ocean. But it's easy to romanticize it and then forget that it's cold, it's dirty, it's salty, it burns your eyeballs. There's sharks, there's reef. You got to be out there in the morning because that's when it's calm and the water surface doesn't suck. You know, Keanu Reeves, I am not, you guys.
This is Ben right here. I just did Ben.
I'm gonna. Hey man, why'd you make me look like a zombie, bruh?
No, it's not a zombie. I just want to show these key components. So I just eyeballed the locations of these things. I brought the mouth out, its relationship to the eye distance. I imagined a triangle. See this triangle? Right here, look. This nose to eye. Think of the shape of that triangle. When you look at a person, if you get that wrong, it's sabotage.
It's over.
Your work sabotage. Yeah. You look at the two circles, you know, and look at how they meet the nose. Now that triangle can be a tall one, it can be a flat one. It's real diverse, you know, on people. So I would say the average is a triangle that's a little flatter compared to an equal triangle. It's a little bit more squished this way than it is this way. You know, it's a bit of a flattened downward arrow. Okay, so Ben, I just eyeballed it. I'm sure it's not perfect, but I'm looking for it. You know, the key is understanding how to look for it. Now Ben has a nose ridge, so here's a part. You know, we have the nose and we have a highlight shape that's right in here, and then it goes down to this nose. This is a part you just block in with light color to get a three-dimensional nose to come out. You know, you do that. So it's in here now. Look at the height of it. So we've got Ben's is way up there, way up.
What?
There.
What?
Might as well
Ben
be at
is-
the root.
He is so screwed up. He is so screwed up.
No.
It's hard
I'm
to
just
get it
kidding.
wrong. Just
This-
put
this
that
is
thing
a-
way over there.
This actually is a big thing with that. Ethnicity has a big relationship with this, where this turns. So if you are like Ben and I, you know, you have some European white roots, you know, it's probably higher, just probably. And then other ethnicities, that turn where it goes from eye socket to nose going out is lower. So look for that where it turns. Now Ben, it's above his eyes. So I'm going to go over here and put it above his eyes. And the width. So this line right here does two things. It tells me the width of his nose bridge and the height of that turn. You see, that's why that line matters to me. That's why that's a key component. Because if I put it further over, it's a wider nose bridge. If I put it in, it's a skinnier nose bridge. And I only need one because our imagination is already trying to see the face. So we only need to give it a little. Now let's put a brow in here like this. And, you know, you can go up, down, make the eye sockets deeper, shallower. He's got real heavy eyelids. Remember the eyelids? Okay. Then we're going to make the chin. We got to think about the top of the head being equally as far as the chin from the eyes. So we don't have room. I don't know if we have, we're going to have to go all the way to the top to get Ben's head in here. We're going to have to go like this. Okay. Go down. No, we're not going to get it. It's going to go off the page like this. That's
It's out of the charts. It's just they've never seen it this good before.
Okay.
Out
We're
of
gonna
the ballpark.
we're gonna make his bony forehead right here.
Nice.
And
Hey,
then we're gonna make his
We want to just product name drop Simply Piano out there, guys. If you're trying to learn piano, we got a few thumbs up on Simply Piano. It's an app, I guess. You can learn piano.
Oh, okay. We didn't get sponsored to say that, so
No. But if you'd
That's not
like
what
to
happened.
sponsor me, Simply Piano,
I just
I'm a
name
really-
dropped for you.
I'm a really great candidate
Okay.
to go from no skills to less skills because of your great app.
All right, what do you think? Do we got Ben here? Do we got okay? It's it's similar. We got similar. Let's make sure we get the nostril.
Well, we got to
line.
vote for you and McGregor, Joe.
Yeah. It's not perfect. It's not perfect.
No, it's
But
not.
I would say there's
That's okay.
there's similarities. There's similarities
Yeah.
between you and Ewing McGregor. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just showing you the things to look for. I'm not trying to show you that I'm a master. Clearly, I'm not. But these are the things you can look for. So in a face, you're sculpting this, right? So always look for these shapes. We got a eyebrow ridge that comes down like this. I'm going to draw the shape of this. It comes down. There's a shadow on it like this, and then it's going to usually go up a little bit, connect to a shadow that goes over that nose bridge. So on Ben, we can see how it comes over and connects where there would be a unibrow. There's no unibrow. No, you don't have a unibrow, but you can see the shadow.
Stuff, dude. I
You
pluck
see
it
that shadow. You can see it on me too.
every morning. I'm in here with the tweezing and the shaving.
Yeah. So we're going to put that in there. And then that can be on both sides. It's a shape of a shadow. We've got a shadow that's under this. You can put that shadow under there every time. There's a size to that eyelid. Okay, now let's do a shape of a shadow. We're doing shadows, and it's going to leave behind shapes of highlights. Look for this one. Right across from the nostril, somewhere in that general location, is a shadow. We talked about it. It's a triangle. It's a shadow on a cheekbone, and we can go over. We can look at a triangle. You can see it on mine a lot better than Ben's. See? You can see that? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You can see it, and it's very blurry on this cheek. You see it. Now it's different shapes. I've got a different shaped cheek. Well, right now we're pretty similar.
Well, my cheeks are getting more saggy with time, I've noticed.
Now you can control the shape to make a person smiling more. It'll puff out, and you'll have a highlight right here. Look, we make this character look more happy just by defining that circle. the cheeks puff out when a person smiles like that, and you can smile without even changing the mouth. All right, but if we take that shadow and we put it up higher like this, now we have somebody that's been doing too much running. It's way up there. You see, we get that bony or chiseled look. That's more like my face. It's a little more like that. Okay, so then there's a shadow right under the nose. There's a shadow under the lip. These have shapes. So here's a real common shape. Down, like a W. Over, that's the round chin. Up. Okay, now we're going to see if we can find this on Ben and I. All right, you see it? The W under the lip. It's there. It's defined with whiskers on the two of us, but it's defined with the shadow and shape. So you can just real quick look for these. Now I'll show you my painting right where I put that in real quick. See right there, there's that little W shadow. And to make this look female, I just small and round chin, not chiseled square jaw. It's pushed up a little so that the skull structure is.
I gotta
small.
say, Joe, I kind of look like the world's most interesting person.
Yeah, well, I think you're very interesting. You mean like on the whiteboard, or you're saying like literally?
Guy.
There's.
This guy.
Nice. Yeah, it's not far off. Not far off at all.
The Dos Equis guy, the world's
How
most interesting person. Yeah, it was a clever marketing campaign.
Right. World's most interesting. Okay, look, same shapes. Solve this mystery every time you do a face. So this face from a distance.
He was like, into some really interesting stuff.
Here's some interesting stuff. Take my master class. Okay, look.
Yeah.
So let's freeze it on this. Let's just look at this guy's face. It's good to look at multiple faces.
On the world's most interesting person?
Yeah. Let's just look at it.
Yeah. Let's look at him.
It's good.
Right.
Yeah, because the process that you saw me use in this video while I painted my character is the same thing you can use everywhere. These shapes, you don't have to solve the mystery every time. It's on every face. Okay, so here, the triangle is scooted over the side of the face. It's right here. See that triangle under the cheekbone? Okay, the high cheekbone is right. This is the curved highlight going around the eye socket. Now you'll see this shape turns into like a Y where it hugs this, but you'll notice that over and over and over again. And like I said, you can just know where these are and real quick put a face together with those highlight shapes. Here's that nose bridge, and you can see the height where it turns is closer to middle. You see Ben's is higher than this guy. So sorry, you're not the most interesting person because his nose bridge might be equal. I don't know. Anyway, you can look for it.
Maria has a question here. Maria wants to know, so if they do a child's face, is that more like a woman's face?
Yeah, it is more like a woman's face. For sure it is. Now, here's the difference. A child's eyes are going to be closer together. So eye distance on a child is going to be a little more like 1, 2, 3 in between. So imagine this circle with 1, 2, 3, approximately 3 circles. Visual estimate. Okay, this is a good, but I have to shrink it in order to fit the face on this whiteboard. So we're going to shrink it down because I'm seeing that the top of the head. Okay, this is like newborn baby distance right here. And it's that, how many circles can you fit between? What is the proportional distance here? I could fit maybe 2.5, maybe 3 in between there. And that is a very young ratio. So we go like this. We put eyes here. Eyelids, I meant eyelids. Okay. We're going to really curve them because when things haven't spread apart yet, this inside is a lot more rounded. Like the corners don't spread apart. Now that's a good start for baby eyes. We'll put the nose right here. We won't bring it down far. We'll make the mouth small because the snout on a person is at its smallest when they're born, right? So this is a baby face. This is how you make a very
And it
young
never
face.
stops growing. I understand.
It just keeps.
Now,
I don't
your
mind
ears and your
stop.
nose, they never stop. You know, that's why
Yeah.
you see old folks and they got just huge ears and noses.
Yeah. Now a skull, if you want to get younger, go smaller. And so we're going to take this skull and put it real close to the eyes, real close.
Dude, how long until in Beverly Hills they're getting skull
Without the
shrinking
cheeks?
procedures?
I'm telling you, if they watch my videos, that's next. It's a chubby baby.
I love the sound of that squeak. That squeaky marker on that. Well,
there.
that's a baby.
face.
That's a baby.
That's a baby. Yeah, I put big old chubby cheeks just for fun, you know. But this is that difference, that eye. So now, if we want to make this a woman, we could cartoonize a girl face and make the eyes bigger and close. There's no strict criteria. It's just this is the variable you're changing. So let's just shrink the pupils or the iris size a little bit. We'll make it a little smaller. We'll put a little more whites in the eyes like this. Okay, there. We just aged this person's here. Hang on. We're gonna
You
age
also
this
made the
person.
baby incredibly worried, I would say. That's a very worried
That's pretty
all
good.
of a sudden, baby got stuff on their mind.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna stretch out the eyes just a little bit. You know, shrink. I'm just doing it by shrinking things down, bringing the corners out there. Now it's starting to look a bit on the creepy side because the eyes are aging, but the rest of the face is not. And so now we'll make this these cheeks come down a little more mature. We're gonna bring this shape, but we won't make the skull too big. We're gonna bring it down, jawbone right there, a little below the mouth is the turn.
Joe, do not make the skull too big.
Don't make it too big. Curve a little below the mouth. That's jaw. Okay, right here. Like that. There we go. Okay, now we've matured the skull, but we haven't matured the mouth. Let's add a little bit of size to the mouth. Drop it down a little bit. Okay.
Hey, that's a great
Top
question Round Brush has got for you, Joe. They're interested in maybe next week, can we have a theme? And then we all draw on that theme together. They can share what they're doing.
Ooh, that'd be cool. I love that idea. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so I'll have to send out a I'll have to send out a something in advance so that we have a theme. Or I could just surprise you. I guess we'll just pick a theme. Leave comments, okay? For that theme, leave comments to suggest. All right, I threw in some eyelashes. You know, just this is just cultural association with femininity. It's just eyelashes. That's all. Okay, so now I'm going to put eyelids, and those eyelids. Look, I want to show you something. I'm going to misplace the eyelids on purpose. Remember that subject about where the eyes are looking? If I put eyelids right here, do you see? See how that obstructs the direction of the eyes. We gotta make them look like they surround. And then if I put the eyebrows right here, you know, way over here, well, this person's starting to look a little bit cross-eyed-ish. You know what I mean?
And stressed out, like they smoked too many cigarettes. Hey, Blummer Drummer, what up? They've been watching you for like 8 years, they say. Thank you for
nice.
videos.
That's cool.
And art and
Nice.
kindness, sending love. Thank you,
Hey,
Blummer Drummer.
thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, here you go. Here's how they are similar, but there's the differences right there. Now, if you do your girl face, here's things that will make it look more masculine. Okay, here's some things to avoid.
Let's turn this woman into a dude.
Yeah, right. Here's some things to watch out for. If you get too dark on these shadows, remember you're sculpting 3-dimensional. So if you start making dark shadows that pronounce this ridge, you're making the skull bones come out and you're making the sockets go in. You're putting developed skull structure. If you overshadow, it's the darkness of that shadow. You see how that sinks the eye socket when you do that? This is a masculine trait because it's the brow ridge getting further out and the sockets consequently being further in. So all of the shadows for that matter, if you darken this like the most interesting man in the world, okay, now you just pronounced another skull bone. It's coming out further. Shadows go into the object. Light comes out of the object. You can add your directional lighting later, but these kinds of shadows are going to masculinify your
Nice
character
word.
real quick.
Masculinify.
That's it. Yeah. So we can really, you know, let's put big brows. There we go. They're big. They're coming off.
That's true. You know, she's got in this like middle between femininity and masculinity. She's got real like superhero vibes.
Yeah, this is why it's very, forgive me for the offense that this may be to many, but this is why there is a particular look to transgender, because a person, it's hard to change your skull. So a person can add many feminine qualities to the face, but will continue to have the masculine skull characteristics. And that's a particular look. So when you see somebody with that, you know, this gives us understanding of what controls those traits. Okay, so we're going to take those down. We're going to take those shadows out. We're going to go like this. All right, so we're going to keep things soft. We're going to use light shadows, and I'll represent light shadows with small lines. We'll just do a little line like that for that nose. It's just a little line like that. It just represents a light shadow. With drawing, we just use a little line on that one, a little line on that one. And, you know, we might put a little bit of shadow in here. Let's say we got a little bit of shadow right in there, a little bit of shadow here. Let's go like that. Yeah, maybe just a little. Let's put a eyebrow in there, you know, and then maybe a little bit of shadow under this cheek. It's going to smile if I put that triangle that makes this, look for that circle right here. That's what creates the smile with the cheeks, makes a person happier. And put this little shadow in here, and then we can put a hairstyle. What are we doing for hair? I've been practicing this technique for a while. This one.
Oh, that's really effective. That's a really effective technique.
It's, yeah, is it, you know,
do share your skills with us, Joe. How
there's a lot of muscle memory involved, a lot of muscle memory. I would say several sessions, many sessions.
Really
try to keep the circles even while you're doing it. There you go. Let's put ears. Okay. So I hope that has shed some light on the subject of the parts. You know, we're just looking at the parts. I don't know why I did that.
That's right, the parts.
Yeah. So this shadow comes right over. This shadow comes and meets up with the top, not the bottom. Watch out for this. Top, not bottom of nostril.
Leanne's granddaughter is pretty good at that hair technique too.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Courtois calls it a curly mess. And Round Brush Steve says it's the drunken monkey technique.
Nice. Okay, I want you to see where these are aiming. These aim, this little shadow, even if you made it blurry, that aims up above where the nostrils would be. I don't even need to make the nostrils. Imagination will put them in there, but these aim above them. If you make these aim below them, it actually doesn't look bad. It just kind of changes the face. But this makes smiles look really wacky. If you do a thing like that, you know, where it doesn't have relationship of nose flaring, and then you put in what would otherwise be a real natural smile, you know, it ends up having that artificial look. It ends up having that artificial, oh, that person wants to smile, but inside they don't want to smile. That's the look that has, and you do that. So to get a natural smile, if you're doing someone smiling, aim for above the nostrils. There's a little tip for natural smiles. Aim above the nostrils, and it flares the nose and cheeks out in the natural way that the muscles pull them out. And then the person looks like they actually want to be smiling. All right, that's it for today, folks.
Hey man, that's pretty helpful, Joe. Thanks for showing us how to make faces look like this or that thing.
That sounded a little scripted.
No, I'm voicing. This is the voice of the people, Joe.
Oh,
Maria
thanks, man.
says, "Thank you.
Thank
That's helpful."
Oh, I can
And-
see that. I'm actually looking at the computer now. Thank you, Maria. Thank you.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know, Courtois says they look constipated, but who cares what Courtois says? That's not.
Yeah,
That's not
I think
relevant.
that's right. Yeah, I think that's what when a person smiles, but this part doesn't smile.
Yeah,
it's not-
constipated. That's the poop. That's the poop in my guts that won't come out. Look, for sure.
Let's not talk too long about that.
All
I
right.
don't want to
Hey,
talk a lot
Leanne,
about that.
thank you. Thank you. Blummer Drummer says, how often y'all do these live ones?
We've been doing it every Saturday. I don't know if we can maintain this pace.
Blummer Drummer is
Wow.
probably from Texas, I would say, with that sort of language. Georgia. I'll bet. Where you at,
All right,
Blummer
all right.
Drummer? Texas or Georgia? I'll bet.
We've been doing it every Saturday. Just keep an eye on this YouTube channel Saturday morning. That's it.
Louisiana or Los Angeles? Come on. Could be either way. Y'all do these live ones? Nobody in LA says
Yeah.
y'all do these live
I
ones.
like that. Man, you know what? When
I was
I'm
wrong.
around that kind of
I was wrong.
when I'm around that kind of talk, it rubs off on me instantly. Man,
It's so welcoming.
It's
isn't
intuitive.
it?
It's intuitive.
Yeah.
It's like it's in my DNA. I
Yeah.
get with my buddy in Florida, and I'm like, oh man, I'm having a good old time down here with my buddies in Florida. The drawl just starts happening. You know, it's instant.
No, definitely don't hit the like button, Mavis. That's not helpful. The algorithms, they get all confused when you start liking the video and commenting and stuff and sharing the show or whatever we're doing. It's not helpful. Don't do that, everyone. Definitely don't. Don't
That's why I
smash
did
the
a-
like button. Don't same time next week show up with a canvas and something to draw with.
Yeah, don't share it.
Yeah, don't share. Definitely don't share.
Yeah,
We hate
basically, let's
Hate
have kind of like a us four no more. Is that the old saying? You know, it's just us. Let's just keep it us. Just us.
Yeah, just close the door behind you guys. Just close it. Just close it.
All right.
So I don't think there's a way to sign up for notifications for the next live stream, Leanne, outside of just following.
I do have a
the
mailing list.
Channel. He's got a mailing list. You can go to Joe to muraljoe.com and get
Right now, the way you get on the, you know what? I started to get lots of signups that I didn't want on there. You know, I have to pay for all of the contacts, and they don't actually want to read my emails. So I hate when I just have like thousands of emails that are not interested in.
Yeah, we covered that. Menus suck.
I hate
emails, tons of.
So I didn't put it publicly anymore because I want people to stop signing up on my mailing list. Stupid.
Huh.
What
All
I want
right.
is for you to email me and say you want to be on it. So just email Joe at muraljoe.com and then I'll just put you on it. Just do that. Because we're just small here. I don't have thousands of people doing it.
You heard it here first.
And,
You're welcome, you guys. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Joe, go ahead and take us home.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Ben. You're a big help. It's so nice being able to turn my back to the computer, focus on the painting. So it's always nice. I've heard from multiple people in other conversations how much that's appreciated. It's
Good.
a lot of fun.
Well,
we love doing this.
You
It's a good time.
guys keep chatting us up and keep showing up, and we'll keep having a good time sharing some stupid
You said
times.
it all. You said it all. That's it. I'm gonna go finish up my Saturday with some visiting friends here in Arizona.
Nice.
And look forward to
Soak it
seeing
up,
you guys
bro.
next time. Hey, keep the comments streaming. I read back on the comments. I love hearing the ideas and you know, I'll keep up to speed with any comments on the videos. I typically repost. Oh, this is just a little bit of information. I repost an edited version. I don't know if we'll need to on this one. This one went pretty smooth, but like if technology fails in the middle, I cut that and then repost. So always look for that reposted version. It just appears on the feed. It's not like a hard thing to find. Leave comments.
Yeah.
I love reading the comments.
And Round Brush Steve, this song is for you. Goodbye so soon, and don't forget to write.
Oh, yeah,
We've
nice.
said so long and some time ago. He wanted us
You
to
actually
sing.
know where.
Sorry. I don't
That's
know.
good.
It felt like I knew it for a second, but then I
Yeah,
got out on
that's
a
more than
limb.
I know. I'm entertained by it. I can't quite hit that lower pitch
right.
that you're in. That's nice.
All right.
You know, one of these days,
Well-
Ben, we'll come in with our guitars. We'll do a little ditty. I feel like the timing is quick enough. We could actually pull it off.
A little diddly do.
Yeah.
Take
yeah,
it back.
we can do
Take it back to
Mhm.
COVID times. A little streaming sesh.
That's it. Add to the entertainment factor. Okay, we're just
Yeah,
talking
hey.
nonsense. It's time to
All
shut
right,
it down.
Vancouver in the building, Prescott in the building. I'm in Long Beach, California. Joe's in Arizona. I know you guys are out there in Timbuktu or wherever you are. That's awesome.
Nice.
Let's do it again. And
Perfect.
stuff.
Good seeing everybody. All right, we're fading out. We're fading to black.